Mic check 1 2, it's the Y2K collector coming at you with a video that I have not done in a while. And I usually like to do these types of videos once, maybe twice a year, just to keep those who are collecting for the Switch up to date with the games that I think are probably some of the more rare and expensive ones. Because the Switch is still an active console, meaning like new games come out for it more and more each day. Not many people are aware of some of the more rarer games that are available on the Switch and some of the more expensive ones. And you probably walk into your game store or into your GameStop from time to time, and you might walk right by these games and not realize them. So I usually like just to do a quick update, just to remind everyone of some of the more rare games to look out for when it comes to the Nintendo Switch, because these are games that are extremely either hard to find or they're expensive. So when you do find them for cheap, you definitely want to pick them up. So I will go over 5 just regular Switch games and then 1 special edition that you will want to keep your eyes out for if you happen to run into them at your local GameStop or maybe your local game store. So let's get into it. The first game that we have here is Blasphemous. Now, this is the first print of Blasphemous, not the one that came out by Team 17. Even though that one is better because that one has all of the DLC on it, this is the original Blasphemous that came out by Limited Run a few years back. And this is pretty much just like the standard edition. This is one of Limited Run's, like the first print of Blasphemous by Limited Run. This game still goes for over $150. It's hovering somewhere around $185, $175. Now, the Team 17 version of this game is also expensive. There was a point where the prices for both of these games fluctuated a lot. Blasphemous originally was really expensive. Then the price for this one went down when the Team 17 version came out. And then after a while, they both just shot back up. I don't know what caused them both to jump up, but now they're both really expensive. I actually have the version with all the DLC. I have that version on the PlayStation 4, just because Blasphemous for me is more fun to play on the PS4. I like playing it on the PS4. I like playing it on a bigger screen. I like the PS4 controller. It's just a lot more comfortable than the Switch controller, and it's just easier for me to pull out the moves in the game. I kept my original copy sealed because I had it downloaded, and then when the Team 17 version came out, then I just opened up that one and played that one. So, but if you do happen to run across a copy of Blasphemous at your local game store, I strongly suggest you pick it up, because even pre-owned or open box, this is still an expensive game. So Blasphemous is definitely one you want to look out for. Another Limited Run kind of like RPG game, but this one is almost like a Zelda clone, just with more action elements. I kind of like this one. And that is Blossom Tales, The Sleeping King. So this is Blossom Tales, basically part 1. They have come out with a Blossom Tales 2, and I don't know if the Blossom Tales 2 is expensive as Blossom Tales 1 is. Again, this is another one of those games that for the longest time was like $50, $60. And then I don't know what happened between 2020, like 2 and now, but this thing shot up to like $200 at one point. It's kind of simmering back down now. It's somewhere between like $175 and $185 for this one. But this is basically just like a top-down action RPG game. I never really dove into this one because I never got to open up the cartridge and I never downloaded the actual game. But I do know that when I was like going through my Switch games and I was going to sell off a bunch of stuff, I did decide to keep this one just because of how rare it was and how expensive it was. And I knew if I decided to play this game, I did not want to have to pay $200 to play it. So this is one I kept in the collection. If you do run into this game at a GameStop, and it's very possible, I know sometimes I make these statements and I see in the comments, people be like, dude, I don't know what GameStop this guy shops at, but I never see those games. Don't be shocked. I see Blossoms. I see some random games pop up in GameStop, because you got to remember, people who have these games are trading them in now because the Switch is they're still making games for the Switch. So if you're a kid and you don't really care about price and you just want to trade your games in to get something new, you're going to trade this in. And so I see trade-ins come in all the time for games like this. And most GameStop employees do not know anything about the value of games. So you will walk in and see a game like this sitting on the shelf. So keep your eyes open, Bolo, be on the lookout for this. Blossom Tales by Limited Run. Here's one that I doubt you'll see in any in a GameStop. And that is Dust and Elysian Tale. This is a very good game. I was playing this game heavily at one point. I thought the story was really cool. I loved all the mystery surrounding the sword. I like the little helper that you get. This is a hack and slash game that uses combos, and you can actually, like, this like helper here, she kind of follows you around. She's like your fairy, and she throws out these little light pixie dust things that also add to your combo chain, which I think is pretty cool. Hand-drawn artwork on this one, and the music is very good. Very relaxing music. I love it. Very ethereal sounding music. Dust and Elysian Tale is a good one. This is one by Limited Run. I've played this so much, I think it has a little wear and tear on it. But this is one of those Limited Run games. I like Limited Run because they come with the manual. As you can see, the manual is a little dented. Like, I've put some time into this one. I got to get back to it. But yeah, I mean, if you do happen to run into Dust, even an open copy of Dust, I think still goes for between 140 and 150 for an open copy of this game. 150. If it's sealed, you're talking 200 and over. So if you do happen to run into this one, check that out. Dust is a great one. I definitely kept that in my Switch collection. Next up is a really cool space shooter. You know I love my shoot 'em ups. This one has fluctuated in price, but we have R-Type Dimensions. I've seen this game go for over 200, and then I've seen it drop under 200. I think right now this game is going for roughly a little bit under $200. And it's just a collection of the R-Type games. I think R-Type and R-Type 2, which are, honestly, if you just want to play these games, you're better off just buying them on the Super Nintendo if you have a Super Nintendo, because R-Type on the Super Nintendo is like super cheap, like 20 bucks. But this collection from Strictly Limited Games is very expensive. It does allow you to play in like these different modes. You can actually play R-Type in like this 2.5D mode, kind of like the same graphical style of like a R-Type Delta maybe, or an R-Type Final. So maybe that's why this one's so expensive, but definitely check this out if you're into shoot 'em ups. And you know you happen to run into this game, pick it up. This is one of Strictly Limited's earlier releases. As you can see, this is release number 17, so this is early in the Strictly Limited game, and if you happen to run into a copy, I would say pick it up. But this is easily 200 bucks or better. Good game though, good game. Next up, this game is pretty unique because I don't know if this game has been ported to any other like consoles outside of like Neo Geo consoles. This game was originally released, I think, let me know down in the comments. I know we have a ton of gaming historians who are subscribed to the channel. But this game was released on the Neo Geo AES, I believe, or the MVS, and that is Xeno Crisis. This is a top-down shoot 'em up game, kind of a run and gun shooter. Beautiful game, kind of plays along the lines of like a Shock Troopers or something like that, where you're just running around blasting. Really great graphics, beautiful graphics. Like I said, was released on the Neo Geo AES, and then it got a port to the Switch. So you know, they did a great job of bringing some of these older and very, very hard to find classic retro games to the Switch. Again, another early Strictly Limited release. This one is probably really expensive because there were only 2,500 copies of this released, and then it never got a re-release. Like with some of these games that had limited copies or limited releases, they you know, they wound up re-releasing them like in like Best Buy and on Amazon and stuff. But earlier in the days of like Strictly Limited and Limited Run, some of those games never saw a re-release, and Xeno Crisis is one of them. And to get this game on the actual Neo Geo is like 5 to 8 times the price of this game, even at its resale value. I think an original copy of Xeno Crisis is easily over $1,000 on the Neo Geo. But all you Neo Geo experts out there, let me know down in the comments. This is an expensive game, no matter how you put it. So if you can get a physical copy of this game in any format, whether it be Switch, on the Neo Geo, I'm not sure if it came out on the Neo Geo CD, this is one that I would definitely look into picking up. But it is a cool one, and I would grab it. And last but not least, now this last game is another game that I would recommend for sure. This is a game that when I got my Switch, I was actually playing this a lot. Mine is not sealed. I don't have a sealed copy of this game. Actually, do I? Is my copy sealed? Hold on. Let me just open this up. Oh, no, my copy is not sealed. Yeah, I knew I played. I couldn't remember if I played this or if I couldn't remember if I was actually playing this game or if I downloaded it, but I'll go ahead and show it to you now without any further ado. We have this copy here of The Messenger for the Switch. This is probably the most expensive game I have on the Switch. This game easily goes for over 200 bucks. I think I've seen this game go for like $350. If it's sealed, I've seen it go for $4. This is a very expensive Switch game. And out of all of the like Nintendo styled, like 8-bit style games, they did this one extremely well. I love a lot of the things about this game. I love the color format. I love the artwork on the top. I love the fact that you have to go to like this little wizard shop to get like your little power-ups and stuff. And like, it's really cool because this shop is like set up in space, and those little like blue tiles that you walk on only appear as you walk across the floor. I don't know why that just stuck with me. I just thought it was, I thought they just did a good job like with the graphics. Like the graphics are like timeless, but they modernized it in a very tasteful way. Like The Messenger is just like a really good game. And I bought this early. Like when I first got my Switch, I picked this game up early because I remember them saying just like this was a really good one to check out if you're into old school like 2D side scrollers. And I am a fan of like the Ninja Gaiden series, the Shinobi series. And so this is one that I wanted to pick up. I did take the actual game out of the case because I was playing. I should play some of this tonight, man. I don't know. Just holding it makes me. I need to dive into this. I can't remember where I left off in this game, but this is a very cool one. Of course, special reserve game, so you know this one came with all the extras. It has the manual, the stickers, the whole 9 yards, all of the extras on this one. But this is a very, very expensive Switch game. I'm not gonna lie, this is getting up there. And The Messenger is one of those games that I can easily see just continuing to rise in value, especially when the Switch is like they're no longer making games for the Switch. Oh yeah, for sure. This game is going to continue to go up. And they actually had a good amount of copies of these. Look, 8,000 copies of this made. So there are a good amount of them. I mean, at least more than Xeno Crisis. But I do not see them making any more physical copies of this. Now, I'm not sure if that's 8,000 of the special edition ones, or if it's just 8,000 altogether. Somebody can also let me know that down in the comments. But if you've played The Messenger, you will know this is a great, great game. And that does it for me. I like to keep you all up to date with what I see on the Switch and, you know, some of my thoughts on some of the more rare and expensive ones. It's the Y2K Collector. If you happen to run into any of these, don't be ashamed of picking them up. Be on the lookout. They're good games. All of these games are great. They're not just expensive. They're fun. I'm not in the business of showing games that are expensive but that are boring. No, all of these games are fun. They're all great 2D sprite-based games, with the exception of, no, I think they're all 2D sprite-based. Yeah, so if you're into that old school style, definitely check these out. And I think you'll have a good time. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.